Okay, this is today's video number 2, but it's actually going to be number 1 because I'm not going to post the other video. I normally post everything, but I don't like it was only a few minutes and I didn't like what I said. So I'm redoing it. It's the first time I've done that. But I've been thinking a lot today, especially with like the Just for Today. The Just for Today was about inventory, doing like a daily inventory. And I want to apply that in areas of my life, a specific one too, you know, obsessing over a person, place, or thing. Obsessing over a person. Why am I speaking in code? You know, I'm still, this bullshit, this stuff is still lingering. And earlier today, I was thinking about a phone call that happened and where I was and how I felt and all that. And I thought to myself, like, why do you want that back? You know, why would you want a person who can do that back? Like, I want somebody that will not do that. I gotta be, you know, like I try to make sure that there's anonymity is at its top. But I was hurt, I was upset, and a combination of things that I was afraid, like I'm afraid of in relationships happened at the same time, to make a long story short. And I just thought to myself, man, I've been obsessing over somebody, you know, that happened. Yeah, I mean, I stayed in a 16-year relationship where I was talked to a certain way, and then I stayed in a 10-year relationship where there's a lot of other stuff going down. I'll stay. That's my problem. I'll stay. You know what that means? That means that I have no personal boundaries for myself. Like, if this happens, I'm out. If this happens, I'm out. I'll just stay and hope things are going to get better. You know, and because of that, I will act a certain way. You know, like all these things will change about me. So I just, you know, I gotta look at my self-worth here and say, hey man, how much are you worth? Right? Like, what do you want in your life that would affect your value? And what do you bring to the table? You know, and I believe I bring some good stuff to the table. I'm not perfect, but I'm not expecting somebody to be perfect. You know, I keep in my head, I keep saying like, why a relationship? Why a relationship? I've always been in one, right? So why? Well, I think that's what's going on here. I think that's the whole point of this process right now. Why I'm going through these things. Why I ended up with a specific person for the time being, or at least in my mind. And then why, you know, like all these whys. Well, it's this, you're not in one. And so now you're learning how to be the right person. So when you are in one, it'll be right. And there's a reason your higher power doesn't have you in one right now. And really, what do you really want? You want to laugh and, you know, rub somebody's head, have them rub your head, and watch shows, and that's not what the relationship's for. I mean, that's the perks of it, but the work, you know. Or do you want to just obsess over somebody? That's real. Do I want to obsess over somebody? Maybe I like obsessing over things. People, places, and things. Oh, that's tough to fucking say. I can't believe I'm gonna post this. Whatever. Yeah, that daily inventory that they talk about doing, and the one in today's Just for Today, about looking back and saying, did I do this and did I do that, and what could I have done different? That might be something to do. every night. Even if I'm just having a conversation with my higher power. It's a good way to connect with my higher power. Because if I don't want to continuously go over a situation day in and day out where I don't feel good about it or comfortable about it, do I want to keep doing it? Maybe acknowledging, like, it's kind of like you have a certain amount of money in the bank account, right? And then like you go to this store and in your mind it's like, it's only $10, it's only $7, it's only $16. All of a sudden, like, you look and there's like hundreds missing or thousands missing. And then so like you look at your bank statement, you're like, oh my God, I spent that much on that. I had a friend tell me that about alcohol. They didn't think they were buying that much, and then when they looked at it and they were like, oh my God, this is how much I was spending, every month. Especially when they looked at it over a period of a year. Like, if I go into like obsessing over a situation specifically, and I were to open up that statement for the last month and a half, almost 2, how many times I obsessed over it or how many times I thought about it, it would look like the majority of my time for the last 2 months I've been dealing with it. Not even dealing with it. See, that's the thing too. Am I dealing with it or am I just going through it? Now, I can give myself some grace and sit back and say, hey man, everything's happening the way it's intended to happen. But there has to be that fine line of like just doing shit and then just saying, oh yeah, everything happens the way it's supposed to, so I'm just gonna keep doing this shit. Or I do something to change it, I make it better, and then I can look back and say, okay, I went through all that stuff because I was supposed to. Kind of like a past tense. That way it doesn't excuse me for, Now, where's some pluses? Well, like I make the gym and I work and I do well at work and I take care of the kids, taking care of the house, and went to the dentist today. And so it didn't get in the way of all of that. So at least my life isn't unmanageable. But are my thoughts unmanageable? Is inside here and here unmanageable? Over a situation that's probably one of those, like, I'm an afterthought and this person's not. Not that it really matters what is going on, but what if I am? Like, what if I could go back? Like, what if I could, like, do like an out-of-body experience and go into this person's life and like they're just chilling and I'm over here doing this, and then I could go right back to like maybe the first week after, knowing what I knew, would I continue to do that? It's this unknown, really. It's the unknown of like you hold on to hope because you think there might be, but you got to look at what, like, I got to look at what is. Like, this person did not reach out to me. They haven't. They've not made one attempt. So why am I letting it rent space in my head? By the way, this is an inventory. That's what this is. It's an inventory. It'd be one thing if like this person reached out and said, hey, I don't really want to engage, but I just want to let you know, and then whatever. Well, then there's something to hold on to. There's some hope that you can hold on to. But if that's not going on, and this person is like, and I'm over here doing this, no, it's not fair to me. It's not fair to me. I'm always like, well, it's not fair to me or fair to them. Whatever they're doing or whatever is going on in their life, that's what they're doing. It's not fair to me, myself, to put me through this. And I'm putting me through this. They're not. I am. And I want to smile again. Like, I went from a point of like not smiling for years to finally smiling and laughing, and I liked it enough to where like I felt like this is right, and then all of a sudden it got even worse. It was like watching fucking Twilight New Moon yesterday. So I spent the whole day watching Twilight with Lainey, and which was awesome to be able to do that with one of my daughters. But I'm Edward leaves, and then she's like freaking fucked, man, for like a while. right? And then all of a sudden Jacob comes through, and like she's a little better, but she's still stuck on Edward. Yes, I'm using fucking Twilight. I don't give a shit if you don't like it. Turn us off. Anyways, yeah, there I go, caring about what people think. Anyways, so I found some similarities in that with me. Like, and I also saw from an outside perspective a situation happening that I didn't want me to be in. Like that obsession. And now, and let me tell you something, man. That right there is not comparable. Like what I got going on is not comparable to that story that was written. Like I never even touched this person's hand. Like that's, and there's vampires involved. Like I got none of that shit. Like I got none of that shit going on. Fuck, man. If there could just be some vampires, like this is a little more understandable. Or fucking werewolf or something. No. You know, what I'm going to do is tag that season of my life and call it Tomorrowland. Only because of the time difference and stuff. And then I've labeled it. And then I can put it to the side and say, here's Tomorrowland, that story. You know, not to make it anything because I don't want Disney to sue me. But all I'm saying is, you know, maybe reflecting on it like this will help me compartmentalize it and put it away. Because I am a good person. Because I can be sweet. And I'm not what I was called. And all of that. You know, like maybe I'm just trying to sit here like and label me. So I can sit with it for a long time. The bottom line is some stuff happened in the end. And I didn't like how it went down. And then I didn't like what was said to me, about me. I was thrown off guard. And I was hurt. I couldn't understand it. Yeah, I didn't like it. And I don't want to sit with this anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. Like, I don't want it to be this lingering feeling I have as I go throughout my day. You know, I was watching something yesterday, and I mean, somebody's in their active addiction. It was a movie or something, maybe a hospital. I don't know. But I just thought to myself, like, man, my life is not like that right now. I got freedom. I got clean time. You know, my kids love me. My job loves me. I got a working car. I got people that talk to me on a regular. And I'm sitting over here fantasizing. You know, would I give up all of this to have that back? No. What if it required that? Could you let it go then? Well, let's think about that. If you obsess long enough and you can't find a solution and you're just not wanting to do it anymore, what's the next step? If this isn't working, you know what the answer to that is. Getting loaded. So why don't we just nip it in the butt by doing it the right way? You know? Yeah, yes, you had to go through your internal experiences then, but now you're choosing to feel like this, and that is where you need to protect yourself, Rodney. So just remember this one, okay? I love you, dude. You got this.